going on, everybody, and welcome back to the podcast. It is your girl, Shelly Nicole. It's the Remedy Podcast. How's everybody doing? I hope everybody had a great weekend. Happy Valentine's Day to all the lovers out there, all the lover girls, all the lover boys, all the couples. I hope you guys had a great Valentine's Day. I did. I had a good Valentine's Day. I had a great one. I stayed in my house on Valentine's Day, the actual day I stayed in the house. I didn't do anything. I just watched some movies, had my ice cream, and just chilled out. But yesterday I actually did candle making. It was so much fun. It was so cute. And yeah, I got little gifts and stuff. But it was cute. It was very nice. It was a cute Valentine's Day. So I enjoyed myself. I enjoyed my weekend. All of my NBA All-Star people out there. I didn't watch the games at all. I said I was going to watch it this weekend. Didn't do it. This weekend was a packed, well, let me not even say it was a packed weekend, because Saturday, so many things were supposed to happen on Saturday. I done messed up my dates as like my weekends. I changed weekends around when it should have been the opposite way. It was mayhem this weekend. I messed everything up, but nonetheless, I did have a rather chilled Valentine's Day weekend, All-Star weekend for the most part. So if you guys were on the live last week, we were talking about going 50-50 in relationships and just 50-50 period when it comes to dating. Now, a lot of it went to financial when we were talking about it on the IG and on the IG live. I don't know. I thought it was something else for a second. We was talking about it on the IG live, but a lot of questions were answered. I mean, I proposed the questions about, are you okay with your girl making more than you and taking care of the bills? And a lot of men in the comments on the live said that they were okay with it, which I guess is reassuring to hear that men today, although the narrative has been painted that a lot of you aren't, but it's good to know that a lot of men today are okay with their woman making more money than them and being the main breadwinners in their household. So I guess that was refreshing, I guess, in a sense, to hear. I then proposed I said the statement of men are lazy. That's why they want 50-50. And that kind of stirred up a little bit of blood pressure. People's blood pressure went up a little bit when I said that. And I'm not saying this is in every relationship. I'm not saying this is for everyone. I'm not saying this is in every situation. But I do feel like some men have become very complacent in where they are in life and have said multiple times that they want to change. They have this idea, they have that dream, they have this dream. But a lot of people are just talking and nobody's really doing it. And I do understand, before y'all get all in your drawers about it, that, life is life, and especially now with who we have in office, which I don't even know if it's Trump or if it's Elon at this point, because the way it looks is like Elon's making all the decisions and Trump is just like okaying it, looking like a sad little child, like, yes, dad, sure. Anyway, we're not here to talk politics, but just understanding that in today's society, it is kind of hard to get everything that you want at, I guess, the exact time that you want it, but nonetheless, it's not unobtainable. But I do feel like if that's the first thing you come up with, and honestly, I guess because it comes with experience, right? If you're so used to doing 50-50 as you get older, you no longer want to do that. Or as you continue on dating and you realize that 50-50 isn't always 50-50. It's really not. There are times when people are going to be 60-40. There are times when people are going to be 80-20. So you don't really know what your partner is and how your partner is feeling until you get into it with them. But I mean, at the end of the day, I don't know. I'm back and forth with the 50-50 thing. I really am, honestly. So another question that was actually proposed was that, is it realistic to expect every aspect of our lives together to be perfectly split 50-50? And like I just said, I don't think that it's realistic for anybody, especially in today's dating world, that you think everything is going to be 50-50. That there are going to be times where your partner is 90 and you're 10% and vice versa. And I don't necessarily mean this, and please understand when I say I don't mean this financially. Everything is not about finances. As much as society makes it seem like it is, as much as Instagram makes it seem like it is, if you can buy me this, you could buy me that. If you could buy me this, buy me that, take care of me financially. You could be taken care of financially, have all the money in the world, and somebody's in the house beating your ass. And I don't mean that to be funny. I don't mean that to, talk down on anybody who's dealt with domestic violence. I'm talking about how and what people portray on social media is 8 out of 10 times not what's really going on. Like, you don't know couples' struggles. You don't know a relationship's ins and outs. You don't know what's really going on with people until you actually, if you were to ever be a fly on the wall and to see actually what's going in someone's relationship. She could have all the bags in the world. She can have all the shoes in the world. She could have the nicest car in the world, right? And I'm talking to my ladies. Like, we could see these women that have all of these things and say, "Oh, I know that's right. Like, I know your man take cares of you and takes care of you." What was I just saying? Your man takes care of you and he buys her this and he buys her that. All the while, he's never home. He's emotionally unavailable. Her nervous system is shot to pieces because she doesn't know what he's doing half the time. She's crying majority of the time. So all that concealer that's underneath her eyes is concealing all the bags that she done cried night after night after night. And then the toxic shit that people sometimes says, well, I'd rather cry with $100,000 in my bank account than cry with only 1,000. The money is not going to follow you around for the rest of your life. I'm not saying do not get to the bag. I'm not saying that if you have money, you should date someone who, wants to be a bum and doesn't want to do anything with their life. No. But what I'm saying is everything cannot correlate against money. It cannot revolve around money because you're never going to be fully happy. You're always going to want more. Someone who's a millionaire is trying to be a billionaire. Someone who's a billionaire is trying to be a trillionaire. So it's like it's never enough when you come to finances. You have to have someone who is going to understand that if you don't show up your complete self, you're having an off day, something's bothering you, you're pissed off at work, or you're just in the mood, like you're just regular mood swing shit, right? That they're going to be there to either call, to come to your house, to let you know that I got you, just to pick up the phone, whatever it is, just having that emotional stability and being there for that person outside of finances. So then I brought up the whole thing about, when men say like they want to be 50-50 in relationships, so we should do 50-50 in everything. We should do 50-50 with decision making, with household chores, laundry, cleaning the dishes, grocery shopping. Everything should be 50-50, correct? Because if we're going to split the household bills, we're going to split household chores. Yes. Somebody had said that, a woman's job is to take care of the house and to take care of the chores and everything. And a man is to, bring the money in, and basically talking about being a traditional man and traditional wife. But then also brought up the fact that, things have to get done in the house. So why is it a problem if women, work and then they come home and they take care of the house as well? Now, I understand that a lot of us, majority of us have seen our mothers do exactly that. Work a 9-to-5 and then come home and take care of the household. Majority of us have. That's how we were raised. But you do know from an interview that I guess if you have social media, you've probably seen the interview. And if you haven't, it's somewhere floating around where a interviewer was actually asking American men about 50-50. And then they had someone else that was in Sweden asking Swedish men about 50-50. And all the men over there in Europe, in Sweden, and in Italy, I think it was also another country, they were telling the interviewer that, what do you mean 50-50? Like, my wife doesn't pay for anything. If you ask men who are in the Middle East, you ask men in Dubai, in Abu Dhabi, they will tell you, what do you mean 50-50? 50-50 what? My wife doesn't take care of any bill. She doesn't touch a bill. She has to look pretty for me. She does things for the house. She keeps the house nice and tidy and clean. I am the one who brings home the money, and I am the one who does, who does the hard work, I guess, if you want to say that. While she does the hard work as well of taking care of the home and the children, but she has less of a stressor when it comes to clocking in and clocking out. Now, I don't want to say that it's completely just a American thing, because I guarantee you there are women in other parts of the country, other parts of the world, who go and clock in and have to work a job and have to do things like that, and then come home and do the same thing. My problem is, if, like I said, if we're going 50-50, everything is going to be 50-50. You don't think for a hot second that I'm supposed to come in after being on my feet all fucking night, all fucking day, whenever my shift is, and then I'm supposed to come in and do the dishes and do the laundry and clean the house and then tend to the children, and then still have to lay up and cuddle with you and give you some, because we have to keep the love and the spark between us. And then by that time it's 8:30 and I'm exhausted and I don't feel like doing nothing but taking a shower and going to sleep. While you came in after your 9 to 5 and you sat down on that couch, turned the TV on and kicked your feet up because you were tired. Yeah, absolutely not. If we are going to work 9 to 5s, we are going to make sure when we come home, we put in an extra bit of overtime to make sure this house is together, or at least somewhat tidy, because I get, you can't clean up your house every single day. Sometimes, work will drive you mad and you'll be extremely exhausted and all you want to do is just come home and lay down, and you don't want to fix the house up. Granted, got it. There will even be times, I've even had this conversation with one of my friends when they were like, are you going to always be that mom who cooks? Absolutely not. I will not. I will make a good amount of food on Sunday, like what my mom did and my grandmother did as well, as far as making a bunch of food for me, my brother, and my dad on Sunday. And then that lasted us all the way up maybe until Wednesday, sometimes Thursday, like 2 meals that she made on Sunday. Lasted till like Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday we were calling out. Saturday we possibly called out again, and then Sunday is when she cooked, and me and my brother helped her out in the kitchen as well. And my dad was very much so making Sunday breakfast. Like, he is like the top chef. I don't know, I don't think he does it anymore now, but Sundays he always did the pancakes, the bacon, the eggs, the sauce. He did everything. And that was really just his one day off, but nonetheless he made sure breakfast was done. Shout out to you, Dad. But anyway, I'm not going to be that type of, mother or parent or wife that, I'm cooking every single day, especially if I'm going to work. Absolutely not. We're not doing that. If that is something, and I say this to the men, if that's something that you want, if you really want your house to be a certain way, you want your house to be designed and kept, you want the children to have their mother around them often, if you want, your laundry done, you want the refrigerator full, hot meal ready for when you get home, keep her as a stay-at-home wife. Let her know, listen, babe, hey, I know you got your own money. I know you got your own drive. I know there's probably something that you are passionate about in life outside of work. I want you to quit work. I want you to be a housewife, if you're okay with that, and pursue your own career, pursue your own, passion, but also just taking care of this home as well. I want you to be here in the house taking care. Let me do the major work. Let me pay the bills. Let me be a traditional husband, because you can't ask for a traditional wife if you're not a traditional husband. Make it make sense. How do you want a traditional wife if you cannot be a traditional husband? Now, if you want her to know how to cook and clean and to, do laundry and do things that are in the household that needs to be done, I also believe you should know how to do it. There's no way you're telling someone else, I need you, or I would like my partner to be able to cook. I would like my partner to be able to do some laundry, wash the dishes, know how to mop, know how to dust, know how to take care of taking out the garbage, and you don't know how to do that. There is no way that there's anybody out here that can say that they don't know how to cook or they don't know how to do this. The way YouTube University is so free, get on that thing and just learn how to to cook something, even if it's just pasta. If you can just maneuver how to do ziti or a lasagna, you're good, you're set. And then you go from there. Then you go to chicken, then you go to salmon. And what makes life even better, y'all, you have an air fryer with different sets and different modes. You can do bake, you can do air fry, you can do steamed, you can do all of it. All you got to do is just put that sucker in the air fryer and make your sides. Like, come on, how much easier is has it gotten for us? Like, be for real. So I feel like if you're going to ask your partner to be able to do something for you, or you want something done as a wife or a husband, you need to be able to do the same thing. The other thing that was brought up in the episode, which was poor Slim, shout out to Slim. He said that he spent $300, was it $300 or $200? I'm not sure. He'll correct me on the next live, which will be Thursday night at 6 p.m. I think it was $200 or $300 that he said that he spent on a girl that he is interested in. Now, my thing is, okay, if you're really interested in this girl, money is not going to mean anything. You're going to do what you have to do if you're really interested in her, and maybe not all in one shot, but nonetheless, I'm not pocket watching. Do your thing. So he said he spent somewhere between $200 to $300 on this female. And then I guess he didn't get anything else in return, or he didn't get, I think it was he didn't get anything else in return. It was for Valentine's Day, and he just did it earlier than the actual day for Valentine's. So I guess this was their days that worked for the both of them. Whatever. So then I guess the question was asked from someone in the chat about going 50-50 on dates. Now, I see it as this, and this is just very simple. It's easy math for me. If I'm asking you out on a date, I'm paying for the date. Like, if I say to one of my friends, like, hey, let's go get some drinks or this and that, or they say like, I ain't got it right now. Like, I wish I could, but my money's tight. Don't worry about it. It's on me. I got it. I'm taking you out. So that means you're going to order and I'm going to pay, and I'm not going to complain about it. I already know, depending on where we're going, what the budget is. I already know what I'm more than likely going to spend if I'm asking you to go out on a date. Or if I'm asking just to, like, even with my friends, if I'm asking for my friend, like, hey, let's go get something to drink. Oh, well, I can't. Same scenario. Don't worry about it. I got it. But if I'm asking a man out on a date, like, hey, let's go chill, I'm going to pay. And if a man's asking me out on a date, or a man's asking me to just, let's go get some fries and wings and whatever and watch the game at Dave and Buster's, you're asking me out, so you're going to pay. I don't know why this is so hard to do mathematically, but I mean 2 + 2 = 4. I don't like, I didn't understand that. Oh, well then, why do you women, and I guess that was another question I was asked after I had answered that. Why do women then sit here and make up all these or choose all these expensive restaurants? Date within your tax bracket. Date within your pockets. Stop dating outside of what you can afford. If you can't afford it, don't date her. If you clearly see that this is the type of woman, and even just with conversation, and this is why it's good to have conversation and to speak to women and get to know someone first before you start shelling money out of your ass. If you clearly see, okay, via Instagram or just in person, however you meet them, but you see that there is a different type of aura with them. They look like, like when you're at the restaurants, or you're looking at, like, you're trying to find a restaurant and you got the dollar signs. They have it on Open Table. I think they have it on Resi too, but I know for Open Table they have, like, the dollar signs equate to how expensive the restaurant is. So obviously if you look at a $2 signs, it's not that bad. You go to $5 signs, you're going to be spending well over $150 per person, if that, right? So if you clearly see that this is the type of person, or this is the type of woman that she is, where she's going out to all of these nice restaurants, Nobu, Cathedral, Prime, she's going to these nice, big, elaborate, expensive restaurants frequently, and that's not in your tax bracket, but you like how she looks, and she puts the outfit on, she takes care of her body, her skin, yada yada, whatever. But if you know you can't afford that, why are you pursuing this woman? Leave her alone. Leave her alone. Stop pursuing women that you cannot get to. Enough. Leave it alone. Nonetheless, in conclusion, going 50-50 in relationships, it is doable. It is doable. It can happen. I do also feel like it will not always be 50-50, not just talking financially, but emotionally. There will be times where your partner is just not there, and they need you, to make decisions, or they need your help. And I think, as if you love them and you care about them and you want to see them happy and you want to see them thrive, you'll be understanding in the fact that you need to show up for them just a little bit more. And that can be in any type of way. That can mean you literally getting them out the house. If they're home, that means you buying them something small. It doesn't have to be something grand and expensive, something that they like, and having that as a little gift. It could easily be just sitting there in their house, or they come over to your house and you watch movies and you just hold on to them and you just hug them and love them and appreciate them and embrace them and tell them that everything's going to be okay. It's not always going to be rainbows and sunshine in dating, and I think that's another reason why so many of us are single, because a lot of people don't realize that does not always happen, and it's not always going to happen. You're not always going to get happiness and peace and tranquility. You're not. And I think it is best that whoever is single now and whoever's trying to maneuver into changing how they go about dating, I think you also have to just have that mindset that it's not always going to be perfect. It's not always going to be great. Your relationship is not like the movies. And you have to work for it. You have to work through it. Life is going to life. They're not always going to have it, ladies and gentlemen, but mostly the ladies, because there's a lot of women who really just date for finances. And again, like I said earlier, yeah, it's cute to have the car, the house, this and that and the third, but if you're with somebody who's not emotionally stable, if you're with someone who's not emotionally available, if you're with someone who makes your nervous system go crazy, it throws your whole freaking pH balance off on top of that, like, there's no reason why you're even continuing to be with this person or continuing to talk to this person. And gentlemen, you have to also understand, outside of the body, outside of how she looks, outside of what's on the outside and how she dresses it up and glams it up, how is she on the inside? Can you speak to her? Can you talk to her? Can you be emotionally open with her, emotionally available to her? Is she receptive? Does she listen to hear you, or does she listen to respond? What can she help you with, as in you grow, as you decide to grow, as you decide to change? Do you see her being someone that's going to ride for you when you decide you want to do a career change, or you want to, guide the family that you guys will have in a different way? Is she going to be able to open up and allow that to happen? Will she be submissive if you're, showing her that, hey, I got this, don't worry about it, the family is good, you're good? Like, it takes work, and it has to be understood that it's not always going to be perfect, but everyone is not always going to be 50-50 either, and everybody's not always going to be 100 either. There's times where you're going to be 0 and your partner's going to have to be 100, and you're going to have to show up. But I thank you guys for listening. Yes, I know I did it a whole day later. I don't know how I had auto-tune on this thing. I got a new mic, so maybe that's why, and I didn't realize that I had probably touched this auto-tune thing. But nonetheless, thank you guys for listening. I hope you guys have a great week. It is President's Day week, so I know for most of the parents, your kids are out of school. Joy. But yeah, I hope you guys have a great week. I hope you guys stay blessed. Whatever happened into today, or whatever actually happened yesterday, leave it into yesterday and today. Don't bring that shit into tomorrow. I love you guys for listening. Later.